could usher it back in. Anytime I needed my long-lost friend.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Hit Single. For those of you that are new here, which is currently everyone, let me give you a brief rundown of what we have going on. As I said, you are listening to Hit Single. We are a Nashville-based podcast with a purpose of bringing Music City's newest talent to your virtual front door. One of the biggest challenges of being a musician in Nashville is finding the opportunity to not just share your music with your audience, but to really dig into the artist's story as well. Our goal here is to do just that. We're going to talk a little, play some music, and hopefully have some fun while we're at it. With that said, I would like to introduce our guest. Joining me today is singer-songwriter Roger Dale. Roger comes originally from North Carolina and has been in Nashville for just under 4 months. He's primarily a country music artist, but is looking to expand into jazz genres as well. He's been working with Justine Blazer locally for over a year now and has moved down to further his music career. Roger, welcome. It's great to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
So, short tidbit about my experience, short experience with Roger so far. I posted on a Facebook channel about 4 days ago that I wanted to start this podcast. This man got a hold of me the morning after. I believe at 7 a.m. I woke up to his email that he wanted to be on the podcast. That night we were able to get on the phone, set up a meeting, and now we're running this thing, noon on Saturday right away. The enthusiasm is fantastic. I've listened to some of the recordings that he sent to me, both live and some music videos. He has an awesome baritone voice that you guys will hear in a few minutes. Now, let's get into what brings you here. So, Roger, you are from North Carolina. How do you get from a small town out east to Music City?
Great question. So I grew up in a very small town, predominantly Native American community. I'm Lumbee, and we're the largest tribe east of the Mississippi. And my community was just so enriched with music. My mom was a youth choir director, so I've been singing in choir since I was probably 5 or 6. And I was probably around 8 years old, going to church, singings, and I just wanted to start singing solo, and my mom encouraged me to do it. And she was the first one that would help me find songs, and she would take me to fair competitions. And even if I didn't win, she would say, "Keep on, baby, just keep on singing." And just always loved to sing. And went off to college at NC State, and initially wanted to be a sports broadcaster, but because of that, I got waitlisted, and I just didn't want to stay in college for too much longer, and decided to pursue a degree, a law degree, because growing up, Native American, seeing impoverished community struggles and some personal experiences, I decided I wanted to pursue civil rights. And I've been a civil rights attorney now for about 8 years, and about 3 years ago, decided to go back and find my way back to music, and from there started writing songs, and always loved country, and country soul is just what fits me. And last year I came down in July to record some singles just to see if people would like it, and now I moved here about 3 months ago. So I ended up down here in Music City.
That is awesome. Because you said they reached out to you, right, to come down here, and
Yeah.
I love that. I love when you get that call. Like, what was the mode? Did they just like Instagram DM you? Like, how'd they reach out to you?
Yeah, so when the pandemic happened, I'd already started working on songs, and I knew the single that I want to release. It was "Tuck Away My Heart." It was I thought to myself, well, I wrote this song, and I have a voice, and we'll see if people like it. If not, I'm going to still keep singing and writing. But the response was great, and I decided I'll keep pushing. And then COVID happened, and everything abruptly came to a halt. And I kind of was like, what am I going to do from here? Where do I go from here? I just got into this momentum and this vibe, and I kind of sat one Saturday and said, I'm going to start going live on Instagram, and I coined it Singing Saturday Sessions with Roger Dale, and I would ask people to send me their favorite country songs, and I would do covers of them. And from that, I built a little following, and Off the Road reached out to me, and like, we love what you're doing. We love your style. Would you like to come down to Nashville to record a few songs? And they were like, if you have any originals, we'll bring you down. And I had been writing probably about a year then, and I had over 100 songs written. So I sent them like 10, and I recorded Struck Gold, Pieces, and I did a song that I haven't released yet. And then I did a redo, because I didn't get to do it live, of Tuck Away My Heart. So I was, for the first time in my life, in the studio, and it felt truly amazing. It was an out-of-body experience, and felt like my little 8-year-old self was seeing all the dreams come true, and the only thing I was waiting was to perform at a CMAs. So,
yeah, I can imagine. I know, being having a very heavy music background myself, it's you put so much energy in, and then like to get that message of someone say, hey, we want to hear your stuff, we want to see what you got to do. I can just imagine. Just that just sounds so good.
It was like, yeah, when it happened, I because I'm very particular. I don't want to get scammed, so I was like, is this real?
Yeah. Yep.
And so I responded. I said, I would be interested, but someone needs to call me. And they called me, and and it turned out to be very fruitful. My mom had never flown before, and I convinced her to fly. And I think the day that we landed, she said something like, I think your life's going to change forever. And not even a year later, I'm living here, and I released an album. I've had a few singer-songwriter rounds, and just seen some amazing music. It's truly living my wildest dream, my childhood dream.
Yeah, that's we were talking earlier. 4 days of talking, but done the research that I can. He sent some music over, and yeah, especially recently, you've just been active. You put out pretty much a music video each month. Was that like a goal? Like when you talked to Justine, was like, we're gonna put a music video out. What brought those music videos to life, like in this process?
So I never had I guess desire right now. Well, when I jumped into coming down here to begin the year, I just wanted to get my album finished because I think the concept for my album manifest probably last February or March. I remember saying that when I release my album, the debut album has to be phases and stages because of all the ups and downs that I went through with love and loss, and not just romantically but personally. And that's what this album, the concept came to be. And when we finally finished it, Justine was like, you got to do a music video. Because everybody in Nashville does music videos. And I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. And then she convinced me to do one for Second Chance. And, man, it was truly a great experience. And I was like, so when we're doing another one?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we did one for One World, One Love. And we actually are about to start working on one for White Noise. And it'll release next month.
Have you started that process yet?
No, we are going to start it. It's coming up, yeah. So it's like a day process. It's a lot of fun to me, though, because I grew up, I did musical theater, so I love stage. That's what it felt like the whole time. It's like you're on a set, but really for me, it's about been on stage.
Yeah, it's very, as someone who's done a lot of stage performing, and then recently with all my production stuff, going through a lot of music production, lip sync stuff. It's two very different worlds, but yeah, it's crazy that I have almost no nerves like going on theater. I don't know how you feel at this point.
Same.
But the second that camera turns on, holy crap. It's just like I can sing to 100,000 people, don't care. But the second I'm in alone with one person with a camera and you're just like, this is being recorded for eternity.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel that.
That's what I love about live theater, because you're going out there, it's like, it's all or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't see like this playback or anything. So for me, it was like, I'm going to go out there. I was never shy. I mean, I think my biggest audience when I was doing musical theater was like 1,800. And I just went out there. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
These people, they came to see us. We're about to do a great show.
Yeah, I feel that. So one of the curiosities I have with everybody, which we talked a little before this, when you're coming down here, you'd already been recording a bit with Justine in some studios. So I'm imagining you were able to get a semblance of what you expected. As far as what's happened in the last couple of months, is it what you've expected, or what has happened that maybe you didn't expect since you moved down?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things for some reason that I was expecting was to be this intense competitiveness, just because the music industry and the entertainment industry as a whole, that's the perception. And but down here in Nashville, it really feels home to me. And growing up in North Carolina, moving to D.C., practicing law, and living up there, though it became home, it never felt like home. And so down here, I've only been here since July, but I've had an opportunity to do singer-songwriter rounds because people reached out to me. And I've been able to do a few co-writes because people reached out to me. They heard my music, versus where I feel like I'm desperate to get someone to, collab. And that's unfortunate if you have to beg. But I kind of had that concept, like I'm going to have to do it on my own no matter what. And so I'm going to push through. But people are willing to help as long as you reach out. That's one of the things that I've realized. And not only that, but they want to help. So seeking out people and networking is one of the things that I realize is probably the most valuable thing, because as an attorney, that's how I got most of my jobs, and I'm bringing that same approach to, I just want people to hear my music. I work an extra job to put it out there, and I just want people to find something in it that they relate to and hopefully want to work with me. And another thing that I realized is it takes a lot of dang work to do a music video. I was not, when you look at music videos growing up, like 3 minutes and 30 seconds, but it takes 12 hours sometimes.
Yep. It's the same as photography. You take 1,000 pictures to get a good one.
That was one of the things that blew me down. I'm like, you mean we're going to be out, how long is this today? Ooh.
Yep. I remember when I first started filming, because especially if you got one camera, if you've got 3 different subjects, you need to get 10 different views of 3 different subjects, full runs, B-roll. It is intense.
Doing it over and over again.
Oh yeah. It's a process. And when I film music videos for people, they're surprised every single time. I'm just like, all right, cool, let's do 10 o'clock to 6 p.m. And they're just like, why?
That's
like, you will see, my friend.
I realized I was so exhausted, man. When I finished, I wanted to go out and have drinks, but I couldn't. Me and Charlie, the female in my video, we're high school close friends. We've been close friends since 7th grade, and she was prom queen, I was prom king, and so that's why we kind of brought that into the video. But she and I were so tired, we were like, just order some Uber, because I don't think we're going to go out. And I'm like, we just did a video, we didn't even perform.
It is exhausting. Yeah, I think the hangriest I ever was when we did a 6 to 7 hour photo shoot after a band performance. And I was like, my best friend, who was my videographer at the time, I almost smacked him. I was like, why am I so mad? I'm like, all we did was film. But I feel that. I did want to run back just to mention something about Roger. When he was talking about networking and people reaching out to him, one of the first conversations we had over the phone was talking about like why we're doing this podcast. And kind of the mentality of kind of gatekeeping music in a certain way. And it's just great to work with someone who, people reached out to him and brought him up, and knowing that as he moves on, like he's one of those people that, when he sees someone like at a round or something like that, or sees some talent, like he's that person that's going to bring them with him, invite that. And it's just so refreshing to be around people in a culture where, he imagined like it is supposed to be competitive, but you can really decide if that's something you want to do. So I just appreciate, how he is and how he views music.
Thank you. And I think that's important, and you bring up a good point. I just want to expand on that, and that we are in a place because of COVID where not just music, but we need to come together. And I think from a music standpoint and a community, now's the time to come together and reach out to, your fellow musicians and songwriters, and just kind of ask if they might want to write. If they're pulling back, they may be, withdrawing because, it sucks being stuck in the house this long. So just reach out to a friend, and even if you maybe yourself feeling down and you just don't know where to go, just reach out to me or other people that's on virtual shows or doing their own virtual shows, because mine only started with an idea in my apartment. And from that, I did Saturday singing sessions, and I just started Wind Down Wednesday with Roger Dale. It's a way for me to stay engaged and to perform, because with COVID, we don't know when we're going to be back to fully functioning. And so a lot of musicians have lost opportunities, but we can come together and share. Collaboration is the key right now.
Yeah,
I think we need to kind of remember that.
Yeah. So I do want to get into some of the performance today. With whatever song, I know you mentioned a lot of songs, can't remember the title. What are you going to be singing today?
Yeah, so the song that I'm going to be performing for you all today is Love Don't Love Me Like It Used To, and it is on my debut EP album, Phases and Stages, and I co-wrote this one with Justine. And the song is essentially about, overcoming love lost, and finding it in yourself to build yourself back up, and realizing that it wasn't that person and it wasn't you, but it's not a song about desperation of finding love again. It's just that stating that love don't love me in a way that it used to, because I feel like I'm lost or it won't find me anymore. So that's kind of where we're going with this.
Got you. Perfect. Then let's get into that. We've got a guitarist over here to accompany Roger, so we're going to get set up with some microphones, bring him in here real quick, do some quick reintroductions, and then we'll play for you. So we will be right back. Thank you. All right, we are back, and we are now joined by Spencer Broschard on guitar. Roger and Spencer met about 2 weeks ago through the Nashville Artists Facebook page, same place Roger and I connected a couple days ago. So glad you can join us, Spencer. You guys need to hear this performance. This is Love Don't Love Me Like It Used To.
was hers and she was mine. Oh, but love don't love me like it used to. I could usher it back in anytime I needed my long lost friend. Oh, love don't love me like it used to. Love don't love me anymore. I'm not what it's looking for, and I'm not sure who's to blame. Why it just won't call my name. Love was the reason that I breathe. Now I'm just a memory. What am I supposed to do? Love don't love me like it used to. No. Feels like I'm trapped in some crazy game. I'm one trip from going insane. He calls love. Love don't love me like it used to. Love don't love me anymore. I'm not what it's looking for, and I'm not sure who's to blame. Why it just won't call my name. Love was the reason that I breathe. Now I'm just a memory. What am I supposed to do when love don't love me like it used to? Is it them or is it me? Or maybe I'm not that lucky, overthinking things that aren't meant for me. Love don't love me anymore. I'm not what it's looking for, and I'm not sure who's to blame. Why you just won't call my name. Love was the reason that I breathe. Now I'm just a memory. What am I supposed to do? Love don't love me like it used to. Love don't love me like it used to. No.
So that was Love Don't Love Me Like It Used To. Roger Dale on vocal and Spencer Broschard on guitar. So glad to have you all on today. To find more Roger's music, go look him up on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Roger Dale Music, and online at rogerdaleofficial.com. You can also find Spencer on Instagram at sbroschard7. Links will be posted in the description. Roger, any last words before I let you go?
Just thank you for having me, and Spencer, thank you again for playing for me, and just to continue to remember to inspire others, and if you can't, find a way to inspire yourself. Just start digging deep, because there's a song in all of us, because I'm proof that. I've only been writing for 2.5 years, and I'm living in Music City, guys, so never give up on your dream, and just when it feels like it's not going to come to fruition, you got to fight a little harder. I'll leave you with that.
Perfect. So thanks, Roger Spencer, and all you lovely listeners for joining us today on Hit Single. Shout out to Flat 7 Media for sponsoring the podcast. Head out to Flat 7 Media on Facebook and Instagram, or flat7media.com for all your video and audio production needs. Again, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to drink some water, eat your veggies, and always help a friend in need. It's been real, and we will see you in the next one.
I'm not what it's looking for, I'm not sure who's to blame, why it just won't call my name. Love was the reason that I breathe. Now I'm just a memory. What am I supposed to do?